So in today's video, we're going to be going over the best time to go and buy Rttk as an investment. So just before the video does start, a quick little ad on a trading service I offer over on Twitch for the cheapest trading guides out there for just £4, €4, all free with Amazon Prime. You'll receive daily trading and investing guides covering PlayStation, Xbox and PC with an array of methods covering all budgets. And I've been trading for over 10 years, making over 100 million in multiple different FIFAs, and now for the last 4 years I've made 10 million coins in just the first month. So in today's video we are going to be covering the Rttk. We're going to be covering the best time to go and buy them going off of last year's trends. We're going to talk about the best time to go and buy them off of the year before's trends. We're going to talk about what sort of players we're going to look to invest. We're going to talk about how long we're going to rise for. And basically, we're going to cover all the queries you guys have. So first off, we will go and talk about the best time to go and buy the cards. Now, the best time to go and buy the cards, what we're going to use? We are going to use previous year's trends, especially as they are so far following the previous year's trends. Now, I'll talk briefly about the year before's trends, before, I guess even last year's, 2 years ago's trends. This is that the market would drop going into the Thursday, Friday, and then rebound as of the Friday. So this is the team we had last year, so let me go and show you this happening in practice. So we have got, for example, Phil Foden. We've got him being released on the Friday, he went down on the Saturday, went down on the Sunday, held between the Sunday through to the Tuesday, and then with the rest of the market dropped Tuesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday, and then held Thursday to Friday. He then had a very healthy rebound from 270 all the way up there to 350, and then rebounded even closer to 400 the following week. These cards then continue to rise until they have an unfavourable outcome for the likes of Rttk. So basically hold for a week or two before the next set of games, which I believe are on the 18th, if I'm not wrong. So we can see he dropped to the Friday. Valverde, same thing, dropped Thursday, Wednesday, dropped Tuesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday, Thursday to Friday he was low, and then he rebounded. Konate, same thing, low on the Thursday, then he rebounded. Wan-Bissaka, low on the Thursday, then he rebounded, even though he was a mini release. Lucas Paqueta, low on the Thursday, Friday, then rebounded. And Zambuesa, low on the Thursday, then rebound. So the buys are quite obvious. Now, how do we know what is a good price to go and buy these players over on the Thursday? So what I've basically been observing is, because for traders, it's all good saying buy on the Thursday, but there will be times when that Foden would have been maybe 250, and then in the evening he might have gone back up to 275 as such, or maybe 280, which is why he averaged 275. So what you basically want to do, or what I've done, is I've basically looked at the percentage drop between the Wednesday to the Thursday, and therefore what you can do is see, well, if last year we had a percentage drop of about 15%, as soon as you see that 15%, that's what it's going to average out as the day, and then you're going to try and get another 5% below that. So to be super boring about it, I've basically worked out the percentage drop we saw between the Wednesday to Thursday, which then again you can use as the presumption of that's what it's going to average out as the day. So if you get anything below that, that's going to be an even better price. So for example, Foden went from 315 to 275, which was a drop of about 13%. Now I can actually show you the percentage drops on all the players. Foden dropped 13%, Valverde dropped 14%, who is this? Konate dropped 18%, Wan-Bissaka dropped 14%. Now someone like Paqueta actually dropped 22%, which was pretty mad. And then Zambuesa dropped the likes of 18%. So on average it's around about 15%. Which then means as soon as we know that players are 15% cheaper than what they averaged down the Wednesday, this is probably what they're going to go for the next 24 hours on average. So anything cheaper than that is a really good deal. So, for example, let's go and grab someone from the current road to the knockout stage. Again, this is making trading very deep, but I mean, if you want the cheapest prices, this is kind of like the sort of logic you have to apply. So let's say that the likes of Openda was going for 274. Now we want to go and get him at least 15%. Again, we'd be looking at the Wednesday prices, we're using Monday as an example. And he's 274, so we need to get 15% cheaper than that. So 15% cheaper than 274 is 233. Which means that we think he would, on the Thursday and the Friday, going off last year's trends, will average out at 233. Which means if you can go and get 225, going off of, again, the normal trends of how much they drop between the Wednesday to Thursday, you're going to get under what he's going to average for the day, and then what he's probably under average what he's going to go for tomorrow. Which means you're going to get a good deal on already what is a low point in the week. And then obviously what happens is during the week they keep rising. They don't really have to deep it like this. In theory, you could just go and buy them Thursday midday or Thursday after marquee matchups, because on average, whatever time you buy them, it doesn't matter because they rise really nicely going into the next 2 weeks. But if again you want to nerd it out a bit, you can just work out 15% cheaper than what they average on Wednesday, and then as soon as they go anything more than 15%, going off of last year's trends, they're outdoing. And again, the percentage drops was very, very consistent across the board, so that's why we believe we could see that sort of drop. Now, if we don't see that sort of drop by, let's say, Thursday evening after marquee matchups, you probably just buy them wherever they're going for after marquee matchups, presuming they haven't been panic bought. Now, when it comes to selling, again, these cards will continue to rise and rise and rise unless they're replaced by an SBC, they're replaced by an objective, or whatever promo team we have this Friday replaces them. Now, there's thoughts that we're going to get road to the knockout stage team 2 because there's no Real Madrid, there's no Barcelona. There's also a lack of like female Champions League cards. So there's a bit of a theory that, well, next week we're going to go and get an RTTK team 2. We don't know at the moment, but if we do go and get an RTTK team 2, we don't really expect to see team 1 drop, because 2 years ago we also got 2 teams and we didn't see team 1 drop. The only players we actually saw drop from this team were players like Son. This is because these cards were basically really cool for 1 week, but then eventually they weren't as interesting. The problem Son also had is he had a team of the week which was the exact same card, which came out like a few weeks prior. But yeah, so these sort of cards didn't really rise out of packs, and that's because there was just more interesting cards you could go and buy for $1 million. So people wanted to go and try the new cards. So ideally we are going to keep these on the cheap investments. So we talk about when to buy them, we talk about the sort of percentage drops we're looking for, but who is the most efficient? Now, the most efficient investments, we want to go PGP because this is going to show us the most used players this tournament. They may wonder, you know, how does this work? So basically what I can do is I can show you the most used players by going on Rttk and sorting via games. These are the most used players. So we got Saladelia, Bonucci, Openda, Kalulu. These are the top 4. These are the 4 that I would look for. I'd also then take a bit of a punt and go for Dodo and Lima, because these cards have only been out for like 1 day, but they're being used a fair bit. You know, like Luis Diaz, who came out on the Friday, has been used 1.7 thousand. Dodo, who came out 24 hours ago, has been used 1.1 thousand times. Like, this card has been used a lot. Bear in mind, it's only just come out, and he was extinct for a bit on top of that. So that's something else I'd look for, is Dodo, Lima, Saladia, Bonucci, Openda, Kalulu. Now, how is it proven that these guys will do well? Well, I can go and show you Team of the Week 2. And if I go and show you Team of the Week 2 by games, some of the most used cards here have had the best rises. Not all of them necessarily, but have had the best rises because these are just the very hyped up cards. So you see Talisca, who, if I go on the 14-hour average, Talisca, who got down there to 1350, has rebounded 1350 to 16k in about 72 hours. We're looking at N'Golo Kante. Kante, who got down to 75k, has already rebounded 15k in like 72 hours. And then finally we get here to like Saul, who again went down to like 40k, and he's already rebounded about 10k in again 72 hours. There is an exception to this on Matoma, but this is why you diversify your investment, because the more you diversify the investment, the lower the chance you have getting duds of like Matoma, who again just hasn't really done that well. Matoma got down to 27, he's got as high as 30. That's about it. So nothing too crazy there, but that's why you diversify your investment. And once again, you're going to go and hold on to these cards until the next round of games. You can gamble on the games if you want. I would personally just play it safe and sell in the pre-hype. Because let's say you've gone and got Man United. Now obviously Man United this week play against Galatasaray. But let's say they play against another favourable team and then they lose. So everyone expected them to get upgraded, but they didn't. Obviously, unfavourable teams winning will rise. There's also another really interesting play, and that is 2 years ago when we got this team, and then we got Team 2. We actually had SBCs requiring road to the knockout stages in them. Now, we didn't see this happen last year, and we didn't actually see this happen with that many promos last year. So, if you want, just because when we last got 2 RTTK teams, they did actually start requiring road to the knockout stages in the SBCs. If you want to go and pick up Machado for discard, I'll be honest, I think I'd only go for Machado. I don't think I'd really fancy anyone else. Oh, you could go for Weaver. If you want to go pick up Machado or Weaver at discard over on the Thursday morning, or if they go discard before that, you can go and put 5-10% of your coins in these guys, because they should naturally rise anyway, but they also may rise if anything gets leaked, that then people would presume you're going to need a road to the Final Four. Again, we don't even need them to be needed, but if there's a guaranteed any road to the knockout stage SBC, these cards are going to go from like 10k to 15k just off the pre-hype of that, which again, at the moment, there doesn't seem to be any hype around about investing in them. At the same time, they're not guaranteed to be needed. But I think that wraps it up. Hopefully this has helped. Of course, you can join my stream if you have any questions, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.